as the early morning Amtrak train passes in the distance, I'm going to broach a subject that's very sensitive, but Spirit had it in my heart to say today. Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about a message that was given to me and more confirmation in the distance. Boy, I tell you, that train is really going. And it's about your ancestors' message. And I honor my ancestors. And the thing is, the way that I was brought up in the religion that I was brought up in did not mention ancestors, did not mention honoring your ancestors, because it was Protestant Christian religion. And even though the text that I was taught mentioned ancestral lineage, there wasn't much focus in the teachings in the religion that I was brought up in about honoring your ancestors because of the structure of the religion. And some Protestant Christian religions do not emphasize that. So only very recently, as I converted my non-denominational status, have I started to learn more and delve more in honoring my ancestors. And as I develop a closer relationship with my Creator, I'm starting to delve more into, showing more respect into those that came before me, whether I knew them personally or not. Hence, the reason why I get so many downloads now. I had prior knowledge before, of course, and wasn't aware of the messages, didn't know what they were. And as with a lot of people, before they become more spiritually aware, they think the messages are, indicators of insanity or possible ramblings, and they think they're going insane, or they just think it's mumbo jumbo. But then you realize that it's actually messages from a higher realm that need to be shared with others in order to help others. And I realize that now. This particular message is, I believe, a specific message from the ancestors. And this message is directed to people who are going through problems in their family right now. Problems in their family relationship. Problems in their marriage. Problems with their children and their grandchildren. Immediate problems in their household. This is directed to the people that's having a relationship issue with their husband or their wife, a conflict with children that live in the house with them, grown children specifically. The reason why you're having this problem, this huge conflict with your spouse, the reason why you're having this huge conflict with your adult child is because you have not honored your ancestor. That's right. You have not lived your life honoring your ancestor. And this was before you brought that spouse into the picture, and this was before you brought that child into this world. This is a specific message for someone. And I'm saying this because of my previous experience in my life before, and my actions, and the result thereof, and what I've learned from it, and also seeing how the connection exists in other people's lives that I am witness to now, and what they're going through, and their current situations. There are people that I know, friends and family right now, going through difficult marriages and going through difficult relationships with adult children and with adult grandchildren that they're close to right now. Huge conflicts that they're going through with these people. And They don't understand why. And the reason why they're going through these huge conflicts is because they themselves have spent their entire adult life living in a manner that disrespected their ancestors. And it was before they married that person. It existed all their lives, and they have done nothing to correct their behavior. They have lived and acted and behaved this way all their lives, even before they brought their child into this world, even before the grandchild came into this world. You have acted foolishly, recklessly, narcissistically, and you have done nothing to change your ways. You have done nothing to change who you are as an individual person. Nothing. You are stuck. You are not emotionally evolved. You have not evolved mentally. Yeah, you got a few more coins in the bank. You might have a few more gray hairs, a few more wrinkles. Hey, you might have gotten a little bit more physically fit. Hey, okay. Maybe you do look a little bit better than you did 20 years ago. Yeah, you got a little bit more materially. You got a little bit more job experience. You probably got a little bit more education. Great, wonderful. But that's all on the superficial sense. That's all in the material sense. In the eyes of the world, you might be a little bit better off to them. But you have not changed as an individual. Your ways are the same. As far as honoring your ancestors, you have not. You have not acknowledged them. You have not made them proud. You have not appreciated the struggles. You probably don't even know who they are and don't care. You don't care about where they came from. You don't care about what they wanted for you. You probably haven't even taught your family history to your children or your grandchildren if you have any. At all. And like I said, for some of you, you don't know them, don't care. And you certainly don't carry yourself in a way that's befitting of them. And that's why any emotional connection that you have to anyone, be a spouse or a child or a grandchild, is fractured. And when you go to bed at night, you don't sleep well. Because you're wondering why you're pouring your heart into this relationship and everything is a problem. You're putting all this energy into this relationship and everything is a problem. Everything that you try, everything that you do, it's an issue. You cannot get along with this person. Everything that you try fails. You have not been honoring your ancestors. You have not been living in a way that's befitting to them. They're not present in your life. That's why. And the flip part about it is, for some of you, you've been asking, God do this, God do that, God do this, God do that, God do this, God do that. And God is like, you're asking me for something that you already have, and you don't even acknowledge what you already have. I know this is going deep for some of you, so I'm going to give you a minute. But see, I had to do this. And for some of you, it's a very hurtful experience to try to go back in the past and acknowledge your ancestors, because some of your ancestors, when they were in this physical life, they weren't nice people. I had to do this. You had to accept some very ugly truths about your ancestors when they were in this present life. I had to do this. But see, you got to take the whole truth in regards to who you are. And some of those truths aren't so nice. But that's part of who you are. You got to take 100% of the knowledge. You just can't cherry pick what you want in order to understand who you are. You can't do that. And that's what a lot of people are doing in this world right now. They're sitting up here going on Ancestry.com and going on, all these sites and everything, and they're getting all this information about their past, and they're going all these genealogy sites and everything and finding out all these things about ancestors and stuff like that, and they're getting that information, and they're putting together this package, and they're leaving out certain parts. It reminds me of a certain episode of A Different World. And if you think about it, go back in the archives. The kids were doing it was a certain season where the kids were doing, I think it was for Black History Month, if not mistaken. Whitley, played by Jasmine Guy, she was the girl that had the family that was very, very wealthy. And, of course, she was the snob. And they were big contributors to the college. They had a hall and a library and all this money at the college, and everybody knew her. Eventually, her human side came out, and she finally developed friends. But when Black History Month came along, of course, she was the mouth of the whole campus, and she was bragging about how great her family was. And someone found out that her family members, even though they were African American, they owned slaves. And that was a blot on her ancestry, and she tried to cover it up. But somebody found out about it. And so that's what some of y'all are doing. You know what the ugly truth is about some of your ancestry, and you try to cover it up. So in an effort to cover it up, you try to deny the whole thing. Or you lie about some of it. You can't do that. And some of you just throw away the whole identity altogether. You can't do that. Can't deny where you came from. It's too hurtful. You got to accept the truth for what it is. Go through the pain, go through the motions and everything else. Go through the process of grieving the ugliness of where you came from, so you can come out, be cleansed, come out through the other side. It'll bring you closer to your Creator and closer to your purpose, so you could be washed anew as a new person, so you could be cleansed of all those demons. Because what's happening is all those demons are being packaged into conflict and confusion. Every connection that you make is going to be a problem, because you don't know who you are. You're not connected to where you came from. I know this sounds like an easy message for me to say, but it wasn't easy for me to do. It took me years to figure it out. It took me years to figure it out. So I kind of hope this helps somebody. But yeah, if you're kind of going through a relationship right now, for some of you, this is the first time you had a deep connection with someone. First time you had a deep connection in a relationship with a spouse, and you're doing everything you can. You've been struggling for years to try to hold on to it, and you can't seem to get it together. Part of it is because your relationship with your ancestors is not there. You're not connected with them. And part of it is because you don't want to acknowledge the relationship. You're afraid of what you're going to find out. You're afraid of finding out where you came from. You got to find out where you came from if you want to get closer to your Creator. You got to find out who you were in your past and how you got here. You have to. And some of you are not going to get that information from your mama and your grandmama or whoever it is, because they're afraid to tell you. You're going to have to go out on your own and get the truth. And for some of you, it's not going to be pretty. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to find out the truth. And don't worry, the Creator is with you. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go, okay? Peace to you all.